Some neighbors of this community, they might not agree to spend their money on fixing things in the building. We demolished the walls, we demolished the ceiling, and we demolished practically everything. I've heard about people getting ruined, getting bankrupt, getting into the credits because they purchased some piece of land. What you gonna do with all of this? It's really tricky. Today we are going to talk about the progress of our Elevate Sphere headquarters in Valencia and what we are currently doing and how we're planning to progress. I'm going to share you the renovation progress and how the place looks now. You're going to be surprised. I will show you how this place actually looks after we started the renovation process and we demolished practically everything. Let's go. So this is it. We demolished the walls, we demolished the ceiling. Now you can see the place in its raw condition, and there is a lot of things to do. It's very interesting, the whole process for me. I've never done a real construction or big renovation, only small renovations in my flat. So this is a new experience for me. And since we started the demolition process, we discovered many things that didn't work properly here. So you always can find something that it's a big obstacle in terms of construction. So, for example, here, like this part, we found out that there is some leak in this pipe. And that's why on the wall, there is a lot of humidity and mold because of this leak. It hasn't been fixed for a while. It's old pipe. The condition is bad, and the architect told me that we cannot open without fixing the pipe, and it belongs to the whole building. So sometimes when I do construction projects, it can be very tricky because some things do not belong to your own space, meaning that they belong to the whole community, to the whole building, and that means that this is the community who has to deal with this. Another trick with this, that community decides what they're going to pay for or not. Some neighbors of this community, they might not agree to spend their money on fixing things in the building. And it happens quite often. In my personal experience, it also happened to me with my own flat when the neighbors, they don't want to fix the elevator that has been broken and constantly broken for a few years already, and probably long time. Since I moved, it was already constantly broken, and they don't want to fix it because they don't want to put their money in. It especially happens in the buildings in Spain, where you have high percentage of people who rent their flats, meaning that they don't care what's actually happening inside the building. Another thing that we discovered, that even though there was some renovation recently done in terms of pipes, and one pipe here over here has been fixed and it's actually new, they told me maybe it is 1 year, 1.5 years, this big pipe, but the ugly thing on it is actually the wrong isolation. So they didn't properly isolate this pipe. So there is a lot of noise coming when people use their bathroom. So you can hear all the noise of water. So it hasn't been done according to the standards of the industry. Also common issues, and architect told me that it happens very often when you start demolishing things, you find this kind of problematic pieces, because even though some renovation can be done very recently, basically not companies are providing quality service. And the thing is that, particularly in Valencia, there is a deficit of construction services, meaning that all construction companies are really busy, they have a lot of orders, and it's even difficult to get competitive prices, good prices, or good providers because they might be busy with bigger projects. So this thing happened, I think, quite often in Spain. So this is another thing that we discovered just recently when we cleaned the space, when we destroyed the walls. we started discarding these things. So now what we need to do, because we saw this water leakage over there, these spots, we basically need to continue destroying that part of wall. And we tried today, and there was like one thing that has some metallic construction inside. So it's a bit difficult to get in there, but we have to check how our renovation has been done to be sure that there is no another leak in that part where you see the water spots. But they're basically dry, but you never know what's inside there. I believe that no construction projects are very easy. Some professionals in the industry, they might face similar issues. Like I heard about some really insane cases where people who are in the industry for decades, they invest into some land, and there always can be unpredictable situation about what's going to happen in that piece of land. So there can be the case that ayuntamiento, basically the local government, decides to do something next to your land that's going to destroy the value of your land. So I've heard about people getting ruined, getting bankrupt, getting into the credits because they purchased some piece of land, and then the local government decided to do the residues piece next to their property. So even architects cannot predict these kind of situations in Spain. So it's kind of always, I think, challenging investment, especially if you invest in land. Here I invested just in physical space that used to be a shoe store in the past, so it's less risky. But the land investments can be highly risky, and I know few people that got into credits for the rest of their life just paying the debt from their investments that became not valuable because of local government decisions. It's great to have connections with some professionals that have decades of experience dealing with such complex situations and get advice from them, because in my case, I got really good advice on how to deal with this pipe situation from the architect that I contracted. So he explained that I can do renovation by myself and then justified by notario, by official person that can prepare this official document that about the state of the previous state of the things and declare that is actual state, how it was, to justify that there should be investment in the pipes, and then pass it to administration for signing, administration of a building for signing. So then the other owners of the flats of a building can pay it later on, basically, when they're going to have access to the money. Because here in this building, they're already changing one pipe and they're already putting money into it. So it's probably going to take some time to get the money back. But yeah, it's things that you have to deal with if you really want to open your place. And to make everything look cute and nice and welcoming, first you need to deal with the ugly side of a building, all the pipes, the electricity, because of course infrastructure is the base. And without strong infrastructure, you're going to face problems all the time, because you don't know when, if the leakage is going to get more intense, if there's going to be something broken, or if electricity power is not enough for your needs, for the needs of your place. So dealing with all these things is a big step, is a very important step. And now my next step is dealing with fixing this pipe and fixing the electricity part, because I need more power, more, because I'm gonna have more devices here, also audiovisual devices that consume more power, so I need to prepare the whole infrastructure to support this functioning. And yes, again, it's very important to deal with these things before you start making the nice part of renovation, when you start making these walls, when you start building the nice things. And the last part is like decoration and all the cute stuff, but these are the most important things in the building. And these things sometimes get neglected, but yes, I'm glad that we are progressing, that we're discovering things, and that I get advice from people that work in this construction industry for decades, because without it, what you're going to do with all of this. It's really tricky, but it's good that we actually had to demolish everything, because sometimes you do cosmetic renovation, you make everything nice, and then something happens. If you don't have insurance, you need to pay from your money to again restore and do the renovation again. So yeah, can be really tricky, can hurt your business, so it's good to start with basics. If you are curious how we're going to progress on this project, next construction steps, but the most important, which events we're going to host here and how we're going to apply neuroscience into events in order to improve your brain health and promote flow states of your mind, stay tuned for the next episodes that are going to be released soon.